Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We're alive. I'll tell you guys why I'm laughing in a minute. But we're here. We're alive. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you can see and hear me clearly, please drop one in the live chat and then we can get today's stream started. And as I'm waiting for the ones to come into the live chat, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that's the most important thing you do for me on the channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And lastly, and I promise this is the end. Lastly, please make sure you follow me on Rumble at TD Media Group. The link to my Rumble account is in the description box below and will be pinned in the comment section as well. So follow me on Rumble, and also don't forget to follow me as well on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram will be in the description box below and pinned in the comment section after the stream is over as well. Now, before we get into the show, I want to tell you guys why I'm laughing. Because I found the top comment funny from my man over here. I read it before I got started. You all know I'm really horrible at reading people's names and usernames and stuff like that. But I believe my man's name here is NABJ Junior 76. NABJ Junior 76. He's been giving me a hard time, over the course of the past, I don't know, couple days or weeks or whatever. He clearly is for Kamala Harris, and that's fine, I guess. But I just thought that his comment was funny when I saw it. Maybe chuckle. He said, "Here goes the Trump apologist. I'm sure you'll find a way to defend your guy." Well, yeah. Like, I don't know why you thought something different. I want him to win, right? I told you all that I'm voting for him. I told you all that I'm a Russian bot powered by artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, right? Programmed to push misinformation on YouTube to trick Black folks into voting for Trump. I've told you all this already, and I'm 100% serious when I say that. So why wouldn't I defend my guy? Like, yeah, the same way you defend Kamala Harris, no matter what she does or what she says. So I just find it humorous when people put comments like that, and you're like, "I got you now," and it's like, well, not really. You didn't. you didn't. You know, duh. Duh. But anyway, at the same time, I'm not trying to like trash you or nothing like that. In that Junior 76, you've been here for a long time, and I appreciate you rocking with me, whether you agree with me or not. Clearly, you disagree with me on all of this, but you're still here. So, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for hanging in there with me. So now let's get into the show, man. Let's get into the show. Let's get into this. This is the conversation that just will not go away. I have a feeling this conversation surrounding Kamala Harris's race and ethnicity, I think this might be the last go around. I think this might be the last go around with that. I don't think we're going to hear much more of it, after this whole Trump being at the National Black Journalist Convention. I think this is probably going to be the end of it, but as of now, it's not going away. And I just want to get into that. There's a lot that can be unpacked about that National Black Journalists Association conference, right? That was had. And I will state this very quickly. I was actually very disappointed in it. And I was disappointed in it, not because of Trump, but in all seriousness, even though, whatever, those who disagree with me on this, I was actually disappointed because this wasn't serious, right? This was very unserious. This was a very unserious conference and convention. This is the National Black Journalists Association. You have an opportunity to sit with a former president who there's a strong possibility that he may win again. And as you're sitting with him, this is your opportunity to ask very real questions concerning policy and what those policies mean for Black America, how they will help, how they may hurt, this was an opportunity to get clarity and understanding on these things. This was an opportunity to push for policy and advocate for certain specific policies. You get what I'm saying? Like, this was a very good and opportune time for them to actually speak on behalf of the Black community, right? And that's not what happened. That isn't what happened. Mainly because the woman that's on the screen right now in the blue, who's from ABC, she chose to start the entire conference off being combative, right? She chose to be combative as opposed to being constructive. And funny enough, oddly enough, I guess for some of you, the most constructive person on that panel of three was the Fox News correspondent, believe it or not. She was asking the most relevant questions as it pertains to policy and its effect on the Black community and how they may hurt and how they may help. Funny enough, she was, the woman on the racist Fox News station, right, was asking the most important questions, racist in air quotes. And then there was another woman, Black woman, I believe she was wearing black as well in the middle. She was okay, she was cool. She wasn't combative. The questions that she was asking, concerning JD Vance, I felt that they were fair. She asked some questions about JD Vance and some of his past comments. They were fair comments. They were fair comments. I didn't care for them personally, but they were fair. She asked some questions surrounding Trump saying that he was going to give police immunity. And if I can be completely honest and transparent, I think he fumbled that one really bad. I think he fumbled that question really, really bad. Clearly, that whole thing about him talking about giving that whole spiel about him giving police immunity is clearly something that is not well fleshed out at all. It sounds like something that he probably just threw out there and said, because Trump tends to do that. He just talks and just kind of just says stuff and goes off. And now that's going to be something that's going to keep coming back around to bite him in the butt. And if he's not able to flesh out a clear answer surrounding that suffices those who are asking that question, then that's going to be a sticking point that's going to work against him. So he fumbled really bad on that. But once again, her questions were fair. I'm not one that particularly really cares for the whole, police shooting thing. As you all know, I don't really cover that stuff on this channel. But, for the most part, she had decent questions and they were somewhat fair. It was mainly the ABC woman here in the blue that was just atrocious. Her whole point and moment for being there was just to see if she can get Donald Trump in gotcha moments. So that's what we're here for now. That's what we were talking about now. These apparent gotcha moment that happened in which she asked Donald Trump. What she tried to do was lay out a trap. She tried to do out I'm not gonna lie, the immunity does sound a little crazy. That's a little extra, that's why he needs to flesh that one out. He needs to flesh that out. But she tried to lay out a trap, a DEI trap that failed miserably. She tried to lay out a DEI trap and Donald Trump didn't fall for the trap. He didn't fall for the trap. So then she remixed the question and saying, do you believe that Kamala Harris was appointed as vice president just simply because she was Black? And this is how it played out. And this is the apparent gotcha moment that everyone is running with now, saying, we got Trump on this one, we got you on this one. So let's get into this.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she Black?
She is always identified as a Black woman. She went to a historically Black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a Black person.
Just to be clear,
it was the same old show. The divisiveness, and the disrespect.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. If you're looking for me to be offended, I'm not offended. His response was funny to me, you know, and I think he knows he's being funny at the same time. He's one of those dudes that comes off like he's being dead serious but funny at the same time. He's not trying to be funny, but it's hilarious. So I'm gonna run it back.
Is of Indian heritage, and she.
We're gonna take it from the top.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear,
It was
She made a turn and became a black person. You know, I don't know. She was an Indian, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she was a black person. We need Godfrey to do a Trump imitation on that. Godfrey does the best Trump imitations. I don't know. She did a turn and then she became a black person. We need Godfrey. Godfrey, if you're watching this, somebody pass this on to him. We need that, bro. We need that, Godfrey. Hold us down with that. This was Kamala Harris's response to what Trump had to say.
And she became a black person.
just to be clear,
it was the same old show. The divisiveness and the disrespect. And let me just say, the American people deserve better.
Here we go. Like I've told you all in the past, when Sonny comes calling, I come running. Okay. And Sonny Hostin, Houston, you all know I can't say her last name. I don't know how to say it. But she's calling and we're here now. We're here now because of Sonny's response. So let's get into what the women at The View had to say. We're going to kick it off with Whoopi Goldberg. And then after that, we're going to get into Sonny. And I do have a few things that I actually, want to unpack and discuss, just surrounding, identity, blackness, and especially, as that pertains to politics in America. So let's listen to what Whoopi had to say really quick.
Why, this is the same old stuff he did with Obama.
Yeah.
He made people think there was something wrong. Obama, his mom was white, his dad was black.
Let's stop right there. Obama, his mom was white and his dad was black. Please believe me and trust me when I tell you, I am not the black people police. I'm not Umar Johnson. I'm not somebody who runs around here saying that this person ain't black, this person ain't black, this person ain't black, this person ain't black. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't, monitor other men's genitalia. You know what I mean? And say, hey, black man, I'm monitoring your Johnson, and I see that you have an Asian girlfriend or a white girlfriend. And because you have an Asian or white girlfriend, and I'm monitoring what you're doing with your Johnson, you can't speak on this right now concerning black folks because I'm monitoring your Johnson and you got a white girlfriend or Asian girlfriend. And because I'm watching your Johnson, you can't talk about that. I don't get down like that. I really don't care what you're doing with, your stuff down there. If what you're saying makes logical sense, and you're correct, then it makes logical sense and you're correct, right? But here's the thing, as it pertains to being like the black people police, though that's not me, I'm willing to play the game here and now, because what's happening here is a game. This is a game. It's nonsense and it's foolishness. Kamala Harris, as I've stated multiple times over, is an Indian woman raised by her Indian family within her Indian culture. This is not something that she's ever been ashamed of. That's something that she's always been proud of. You can find YouTube videos of her cooking with other, famous Indian celebrities where they're talking about their favorite Indian dishes. To state that is factually correct. I omit the black portion. The same way people that like to overemphasize on her being black omit the Indian portion. But the thing is that they omit the Indian portion and never want to speak on it because, once again, they're playing this game of trying to appeal to the emotions and feelings of Black America, tapping into the pain of the past and making them feel like if we can just have a Black female president, we have overcome. Now, that didn't work with Barack Obama, but apparently it's supposed to work this time around. And we all know the answer to that question, and that will not happen the same way it didn't happen for Barack Obama. But let's go back to what Whoopi Goldberg was saying about Barack Obama's father being Black. He's not Black, actually. He isn't Black, actually. Barack Obama's mother is white and his father is Kenyan. Now, why do I say he's not Black? And like I said, I'm just playing the game because we're all just playing the game. But my game is rooted in facts. Why isn't he Black? Well, number one, he's Kenyan, right? And on the continent of Africa, with the exception of South Africa, right? With the exception of South Africa, African countries don't have Black as like a racial category, because with the exception of South Africa, by and large, for the most part, in every African country, everybody's Black. So why would you be identifying anybody as Black when everybody is Black, right? That doesn't make logical sense. Henceforth, why they don't do that. Like I said, by and large, with the exception of South Africa, right? With the exception of South Africa, these countries like Kenya, they identify themselves by either their tribe or whatever their unique ethnicity may be concerning, the country that they're from, right? So going back to Barack Obama Sr., he's not Black. And if he was alive today, he would tell you that he wasn't Black. He would tell you that he was Luau. I believe if I'm pronouncing it right, it's Luau. If we come over here to Barack Obama, the family of Barack Obama, right? Wikipedia page. It says Obama's wider ancestry is made up of people of Kenya, Luau, Luo, right? Luo. And we see the Luau people or Luo people, Luo. The Luo of Kenya is an ethnic group native to Western Kenya, right? So he's Luo. He's not Black. He's Luo. This is factually correct, right? But it's convenient to, get into the whole thing about him being Black and his father being Kenyan and he's Black, right? And you disguise this as if he's Black American when he's not, he's Kenyan, because it's convenient. It's politically convenient. One of the things that I find very interesting, and I want to stay here with Barack Obama Sr. for a moment. What I find very interesting, and you're seeing these parallels with Barack Obama and to a good degree with Kamala Harris, is that when they begin running for political office and, things really get serious, that's when you'll notice that these individuals who are of mixed race with a white parent, we'll say, and a African or Jamaican father, right? When they begin the process of running for office and really taking things serious, that's when they start to black it up. That's when they start blackening things up a bit. Barack Obama was raised by his white mother and I believe stepfather, who was Indonesian, if I'm not mistaken. He spent a good deal of his childhood in Indonesia and then back in Hawaii, right? He has no real connection to Black folks in America. And on the surface, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That doesn't just inherently make you a bad person. But then what we see here concerning the life of Barack Obama Sr., is that Barack Obama Sr. has no real connection with his son, Barack Obama. Barack Obama Sr. divorced from Barack Obama's mother when he was around 3 years old. And the only other time that he saw Barack Obama again was when he was 10. So Barack Obama has no actual real connection or relationship, never had, with his father. Yet when it was time to get things going concerning his political career, he writes a book called Dreams from My Father. It's time to black it up. Time to black it up a bit. And, it even goes on to state this here. Now, it doesn't state that he's doing it for the purposes of blacking it up. But, as you can see, it reads here, Dreams from My Father, A Story of Race and Inheritance is a memoir by Barack Obama that explores the events of his early years in Honolulu and Chicago until his entry into Harvard Law School in 1988. Obama originally published his memoir in 1995 when he was starting his political campaign for the Illinois Senate. What do you know? Now it's time to write my memoir. Now it's time to black it up, right? Because there is, political cachet in being black. That's true. That's the fact. There is that. So despite his actual upbringing, to which, he wasn't really around black folks like that growing up, like I said, which there's nothing wrong with on the surface. That doesn't inherently make you some bad person. That's ridiculous to say that. But despite not having that, him not having that and knowing that there is an advantage to him being black in politics, he knew he just needed to step his blackness up a bit. So, hey, let me write a book called Dreams from My Father, a man who I didn't know because he divorced my mother when I was 3, and I only saw one more time again when I was 10. Right? You see how all this is working out? So let's carry on. Now let's move forward. I want to move forward and let's go back to the actual video from The View. Let's go back to the video from The View and let's see what Sonny has to say. We saw what Whoopi had to say. Let's see what Sonny has to say. And also, there are currently 818 of you in the stream right now. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. That is extremely important. It is very important for the growth of this channel. And shout out to my man, Roland Banks, for coming through. He said, keep dropping this content, TD. You are my #1 Russian misinformation bot. Long live chat GPT. Yeah, man. Like I said, you all know I'm a Russian bot powered by artificial intelligence and chat GPT created by Putin to push misinformation on YouTube, to trick Black America into voting for Trump. I'm tricking y'all with this misinformation, right? And if you fall for my trick, well, that's on you, because I already told you the truth and you fell for it. So let's get back into the show, man. Shout out to my man, Walter Wilborn, as well, for coming through as he always does with the super chat. I appreciate all the support that I get on this channel. Thank you all very, very much. Now let's jump back into the video.
I've been a member of the National Association of Black Journalists for about 20 years.
And the same sorority as
the same sorority,
as,
which is
Kamala,
historically black sorority, right? Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She went to an HBCU.
Well, I can say no, I think.
Sorry. Let's run that back.
National Association of Black Journalists for about 20 years.
And the same sorority as
the same sorority,
as,
which is
Kamala,
historically black sorority, right? Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
I don't know how I feel about her saying a historically black sorority. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I might be feeling a little offended. I don't know. Historically black sorority, or that's cool to say. I'm just checking. I don't know. I'm feeling a little offended by that one. I don't know if I like that. Colored sorority, historically black sorority. I don't know. People of color. National advancement of colored people, NAACP, whatever. I don't know what's going on anymore. I feel like I should feel offended, but let's carry on. My apologies. Let's carry on. I'm gonna let Sonny speak.
Black sorority, right? Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Time out. Super Bike 2164 said it best. Greek historical black sorority. Greek historical black sorority. How, a Greek one? A Greek, that was a good one. I couldn't let that one pass by. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's keep the show flowing. Let's keep it flowing.
Association of Black Journalists for about 20 years.
And the same sorority as
the same sorority,
as,
which is
Kamala,
historically black sorority, right? Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She went to an HBCU, Howard University. She was the president of the Black Law Students Association in her law school. She joined the Congressional Black Caucus when she became a senator. She is a black woman. And to your point, Whoopi, in this country, if you are biracial, but you have any drop of black blood in you, you are considered a black person.
That was the
And
one-drop theory,
That's
as
the
a matter of
one-drop
fact.
theory.
Yes.
We didn't make those rules.
No.
Those rules were made for us.
Let's stop right there. The one drop rule is a rule rooted in anti-Black racism. It's a rule that is not, it was not legislated into law, or at least it isn't now, right? Why on God's green earth would you be following a rule that's rooted in racism that isn't even law? Where's the logic behind that? How does that make any sense? Ask yourself that for a moment. Why did everyone start clapping when she started talking about the one drop rule? As if the one drop rule is a good thing. The one drop rule, which is rooted in anti-Black racism. Like, why is everyone clapping right now? We're going to unpack this just a little bit, right? Let's hear that again when everybody started clapping. In America, if you're mixed biracial, we have a thing called the one drop rule. Yeah, and everybody started clapping. Like, why is everyone clapping for the one drop rule? Right? That's odd to me. But let's I want to play that part again.
Black person.
That was the one-drop theory.
Biracial, but you have any drop of Black blood in you, you are considered a Black person.
That was the one-drop theory.
Why are they clapping for Jim Crow? They're literally clapping for Jim Crow. Really think about that. They're clapping for Jim Crow. I'm going to tell you why they're clapping for Jim Crow. These people on The View, right, and those of their ilk, they cry the most about racism, right? But then when it comes to the racist practice of the one drop rule, it's now celebrated and folks are literally clapping for it. And they're doing that because in this particular case, it's politically convenient. The one drop rule for these folks is politically convenient. So they have no problem with this Jim Crow era rule that's rooted in anti-Black racism. Henceforth, why you literally hear a bunch of women in the audience clapping and cheering when she said, here in America, you know, we have a thing called the one drop rule, and that was placed upon us. And everyone started clapping because, like I said, in this particular case, Jim Crow is a good thing because it's politically convenient. Under that racist rule, which isn't law, by the way, but they're still adhering to it for some reason. If Vivek Ramaswamy has a great-great-grandfather who happens to be East African, then by their logic and by the racist one drop rule, that makes Vivek Ramaswamy Black. Would you all agree with that? Will we all agree that Vivek Ramaswamy is Black because his great-great-grandfather is Black? I don't think any of us would adhere to it. Or maybe you would if it was politically convenient. And that's what you see happening here and why everybody's clapping for Jim Crow, right? Now, here's the thing. Once again, why are you adhering to this when it's not law, right? I remember a few weeks ago, there was a big hoopla happening online over this woman right here. A beautiful young woman by the name of Tyler. Very talented young woman, right? But people were up in arms over the fact that she identifies as colored. She identifies colored. She doesn't identify as Black. She identifies colored. For those of you who don't know, colored is a racial category in South Africa. Color just simply means you're of mixed race and ethnicity. Let's get into her race and ethnicity and what her racial makeup actually is. Tyler was born on the 30th of January in 2002. First off, being born in 2002 is crazy. That doesn't process for me. But okay, you were born in 2002. That's wild. But Tyler was born on the 30th of January in 2002 to a colored family with Indian, Marutrian, Zulu, and Irish ancestry. Okay. Marutrian is just another kind of subcategory of Indian. So the Tyler girl from South Africa, she's Indian, Zulu, and Irish. That's her makeup. But some people might say, well, why do you identify as being colored? So, like, is she adhering to this apartheid ruling that she shouldn't be adhering to anymore? Does she hate herself? Does she hate herself? Does she just hate being black? So she identifies as colored and she's using apartheid as an excuse, right? No, that's not true. That would be a lie. She's referring to herself as colored because that is the legal racial designation for her racial and ethnic makeup. Colored was a legally defined racial classification during apartheid, referring to anyone not white or of the Black Bantu tribes, which effectively largely meant people of color. The Apartheid era Population Registration Act 1950 and subsequent amendments codified the colored identity. Despite the abolition of the Population Registration Act of 1991, coloreds are regarded as one of 4 racial groups in South Africa. These groups are blacks, whites, coloreds, and Indians. So she doesn't identify as colored because she hates herself. That's not why she identifies as that. She identifies as that because that's law where she's from. But the thing is, in closing, the one drop rule isn't law here. So then once again, we have to go back to asking the question, why in the world are these people on the View panel and in the audience clapping it up for a Jim Crow rule that isn't even law? What Tyler was doing was adhering to the rules and regulations and law that she was born under. You're not born into the one drop rule here in America. There is no one drop rule. You know, that's not a thing. It doesn't exist. We don't have to protest and fight to get it like removed, like out of legislation. It doesn't exist. So once again, why are they referring to that and adhering to something that is so racist? That's the question that I have for you. Now, I answered that question already, but I'm just posing it to you again because I want you to kind of explain to me in the comment section what you think about that and how you feel about that. They're literally clapping it up for Jim Crow. That's crazy work. In 2024, clapping it up for Jim Crow is wild. Shout out to Super Mike 2164 for coming through. He said, her black, but she won't do something for Black America. Right. She's supposed to be black. But remember what Kamala Harris said, I'm not going to do something that only benefits black people. No, But let's get back into this as we kind of close and round this video out with Sunny. Let's get back into this. Oops, I have muted. Sorry.
Those rules were made for us. And I
clap it up for Jim Crow. That's wild. That's nasty work.
A senator, she is a black woman. And to your point, Whoopi, in this country, if you are biracial, but you have any drop of black blood in you, you are considered a black person.
That was the one-drop theory,
That's
as
the
a matter of
one-drop
fact.
theory.
Yes.
We didn't make those rules.
No.
Those rules were made for us. And I think when I'm a biracial person, right? I have a black father and a white mother. And the KKK is gonna find me and round me up with every other black person. And so
you all know what's coming.
They're going to put you all back in chains. They're going to put you all back in chains. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Oh, Trump got them ready. Trump got the Klan ready, what?
They're going to put you all back in chains. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Oh God. What they doing the most. The women on The View, they do the most, man. They do the most. They put all the extras on it. They selling you on this. They selling you on.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
Man, they selling it. Black folks need to be scared. Trump gonna bring the Klan back. All right. Anyway, we gotta round this out. So let me let this play out.
I think this is my lived experience and it's her lived experience. And
Your lived experience was getting chased down by the Triple K? Okay.
And I think to question someone's racial identity,
Especially him,
the bar has
also
fallen so low.
Yeah, that's the
so
thing.
low.
It's just despicable. And if you didn't know who he was, he's saying it very loudly. I do want to give kudos to ABC's Rachel Scott, who's just amazing, and Katia Gova did an excellent job.
She did a horrible job. She was ignorant and combative and unproductive.
Holding his feet to the fire. And there is something about when women challenge him that he unravels. And what I was struck by wasn't just the blatant racism, the lack of understanding of what it means to be biracial.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
I want to go back to what she said right there. I actually shouldn't have hit the back in chains.
Just the blatant racism, the lack of understanding of what it means to be biracial.
I want to end it there. The lack of understanding of what it is to be biracial. How can we have an understanding of what it is to be biracial when we never discussed that concerning Kamala Harris? We never discussed the fact that, yes, she is an Indian woman. We don't discuss that she's actually biracial, half Jamaican, half Indian. You only portray her and prop her up as a black woman to take advantage of the black vote, so that once you get back into office, you can reopen the borders and flood the cities and, liberal cities with illegal immigrants, and you can throw them all in black neighborhoods like Brandon Johnson and prop them all in housing on the citizens' dime, while the very people that live in said neighborhoods that are homeless remain in the street. That's the reason why we don't understand anything about being biracial. This is actually a very good time to actually bring those kind of conversations up, because I don't have the rest of this portion clipped up. But they got into, basically the largest racial group, you can say, that's exploding in this country, right? Are biracial, are mixed race. And this is something that I've talked about before in the past. I think it was like 2 years ago when I talked about that, right? I talked about the changing demographics, in America, biracial children, mixed children, that's through the roof, man. Through the roof. It's supposed to, I think the biracial population is supposed to, they said here on the video, I wish I had it clipped up now. It's supposed to expand and blow up more by like 300%, by like, I don't know, like 2050 or 2060 or something like that, But as opposed to taking the opportunity to actually educate us on what it is to be biracial, what are the experiences of those who are biracial, good and bad? What are the struggles of that? It would be very interesting to actually learn about these things, considering the fact that the biracial population is blowing up. Instead of doing that, they choose not to. They choose to forego the fact that Kamala Harris is biracial, simply to focus on her being black, to get black folks in their emotion to vote her into office, just so she can do nothing for you, right? Just taking advantage of it, just manipulating you, stealing your votes to prioritize other groups over you, as they always do. And with all that being said, that does it for today's stream. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button if you haven't on your way out. There are 1,100 of you in here in the stream. Please hit the like button on your way out. That's extremely important for the growth of this channel. Shout out to the 54 of you that are watching this on Twitter. Please migrate over to the channel. If you haven't already, the main channel, TD Media Group, right? So you can be part of the lively live chat. shout out to everybody that came through. The last one that came through, my man DSB coming through. He said, darn Harris, and she's not black. Miss me with that BS. You know what I'm saying? She's biracial. She's biracial. Just like how Amber Rose didn't claim black. Amber Rose, she said, I'm not black. She said, I'm biracial. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to you, DSB, for coming through as you always do. And shout out to everybody else for coming through as you all always do. Thank you all for your time. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please do that. If you're new here, share this video out on your social media platform. And also, don't forget, man, if you guys have not already, before you run out, because I know you guys want to, oh, he's giving his outro. He wants us to do stuff. We got to get out of the stream. Come follow me on Telegram. Follow me on Rumble at TD Media Group. Please do that. Follow me on Rumble at TD Media Group. And please, please, please follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The links will be pinned in the comment section below after the stream is over, and they're already in the description box below as well. So anyway, thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.